earlier this year, I got a call from a student who had just graduated from a university and who told me that I have got my second call with the university. And the student had all the qualities that would fit that position. In a matter of an hour, I had got my ambassadors, I had got key people involved to have a conversation with this candidate. 5.5 hours of coaching, and at the end of the 5.5 hours, I spoke to the candidate and I said, do not take your first offer. And she said, why are you saying first offer? I'm just going for this interview. I said, no, watch. In 2 weeks' time, she had 3 confirmed job offers, each one better than the other. And it was a difficult one, which one to choose. And I knew that what we're doing is actually making a difference.
They say it takes a village to raise a child. They say that back home in Nigeria. And for immigrants, I think it's no different. We need communities, we need safe spaces, because these spaces help us find our place in society. They help us find our footing when you just land in a new country. Nick Noorani, fondly called the Immigrant Godfather, has built just that with Immigrant Networks. They help people settle, they help people find jobs, they help people start their journey towards feeling like they belong in Canada. Because you know what? When you get a job, you start to feel like, yes, I can now start to find my place in society. And from experience, I can tell you there's nothing quite as beautiful as knowing you are part of a community that has your back, whether you're an immigrant or otherwise.
This was something I was looking for a long time, because every time I had to look for a mentor, I had to go on LinkedIn platforms, I have to attend a social networking event, I have to pay for those fees and I came as a student, and definitely finances were an issue that time. I wanted a place where I could find everybody and anybody around who could help me. Not necessarily that if you come from a particular background, you're looking for a mentor from the same background only. So I come from a human resource background, and people thought that I should only connect with human resources people, but that's not the case. There are different people and different way they can help you out. There are skill builders, there are people who can help you in building your resume, there are people who could help you in your career boosting, there are people who could help you in your technical skill. But there are also people who could help you in adjusting to the Canadian work culture, which you are not aware of. So that Immigrant Network platform offered me everything. It has diverse talent available, diverse ambassadors available from diverse background.
Yeah, the workshops, the mentoring that members get is invaluable. I think it is. But you know, I don't think that's what sets the community apart. It's the ability for Nick and the ambassadors to give members a genuine sense of belonging. It's a safe space where people are met with warmth and understanding ear, and the firm sense of commitment to their progress and well-being in Canada. And there's nothing like that.
I had actually landed in a very small town in Ontario, and I knew that I had to kind of look to the bigger city to kind of tap into these bigger network. And I packed my bags in 2 months and then moved cross country to Vancouver. And so this was in Feb of 2021, and I was just trying to kind of look for support for newcomers. And then it was through Instagram so that I actually saw the first information about Immigrant Network. My mom actually passed away 2 weeks after I'd landed. And then just like that, and then compounded with the big move, and then the pandemic. So there were like so many things happening at the same time, and probably I was at my lowest. On a more personal level, like grieving my mom, and then also grieving the life that I had before moving here. And then I think the whole world was in this grieving state with this pandemic as well. So there was like 3 layers of grief that I was going through. And when I kind of started to find the strangers, like literally strangers through Immigrant Network, and who were really encouraging me. So I also remember this Asian lady who has been here, I think, for 3 to 4 years, and so I had a match with her, and I was at my lowest. I was like, whoa, nothing is happening here. I'm like, why did I move here, and all of that, which I think everyone goes through that process and then curve. And then she was, in her broken English, was kind of really trying to encourage me and tell me that you can do it. So that was like a very big wow moment for me.
A big part of integrating into a new society, Canada especially, is learning all the local norms, picking up all the unspoken nuances that guide social interactions, building strong relationships with people, both immigrants and non-immigrants. And I think finding the right community is an amazing way to jumpstart that process.
One of the things that we can do is start becoming more aware of how people in the new country or in the new company, how do they meet? How do they greet? How do they express consternation or disagreement? How is business done here? How is socializing done here? Where are the fine lines in the sand that you shouldn't cross? The unspoken norms of behavior that everybody who's Canadian knows that newcomers so often push up against in a new workplace, or they can't pass interviews because they're doing something they're completely unaware of. And because Canadian culture is the way it is, nobody's going to tell you. So you're going to hit that wall again and again and again until you slowly start to figure it out for yourself. Or if you have mentorship, if you have community, then there are people who can help you understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, some of the do's and don'ts that just help make getting along and getting by and succeeding in the new country a little easier. And that's what the networking is about.
The challenges that newcomers have is there's this huge area of information that they need to have that they do not have, and so they'll continue to struggle. Our goal is how do we get them onto the treadmill and working out and actually getting jobs. Our 90-day 9-step program is a guaranteed job placement. Why? Because when you go through the processes in understanding your new country and understanding your occupation in this new country, you'll be able to ace it. Someone asked me, Nick, can you tell me in 3 words what is it you do? Here it is. I polish diamonds.